Welcome back to Mustache Moto from David's Lake, Mississippi. All right, back on the trace. We're at mile marker 244, so exactly 200 miles to go. We're headed up towards Tupelo, which is about 20 miles. Don't know if we're going to stop before then or not, but we'll certainly stop there. That is, of course, the birthplace of the king. He's moving. All right. He must know the roads better than I do. Decent night of camping at David's Lake. It was $20, which is a little more than I'd like to spend. The bathroom lights were on all night, which you can kind of see through the tent. But it was quiet. Yeah, the water there was nice. Beautiful morning with all the fog on the lake. So let's get on down the road. I'm going to finish up the trace today. But then tomorrow, Friday, I got to get home. It's about 4 hours from the end of the trace, 4.5 hours. And tomorrow, weather's coming in. It's going to be raining starting about 6 a.m. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I may see how far I can get tonight. After I finish the trace, head on south. Or I may go a little ways and then get up but early. I don't think it's supposed to start raining until about 6 a.m. So we'll see. Let's get on down the road, see what we see. Here's a turn off Trace State Park, which I haven't checked out. Also, downtown Tupelo, the historic downtown. So we're going to peel off here, go check it out. I'm guessing everything's going to be Elvis related, or at least a whole lot of stuff. Including there's a museum for his birth home here. Which, as I said, it's only 8 a.m. I don't think they're going to be open, but we'll do a swing by and see what it looks like from the outside. It's an old shotgun house. Let's see here. Elvis Presley birthplace. Got the sign right there, so it should be pretty easy to find. I hear a train. We're in downtown, historic downtown. It's down there, I think, the train. We're not going to get caught. Historic downtown Tupelo. It's kind of cute. Kind of quiet. This morning. Make sure the train's not coming here. Nope. I think we must be getting close. Elvis Presley birthplace. There it is. It's that little shotgun shack right there. All right, here's something I'm going to mention. I'm not a big Civil War fan, so you haven't heard me mention this yet, but there is a lot of Civil War sites along the Natchez Trace Parkway. We're in Tupelo, so we're just off the trace, but along in here there is a lot that you can see. If that's something that interests you. I'm going to pass on it because it's just not my thing. Let me also mention while I'm coming out of Tupelo that there is a lot of police activity in Tupelo. I've just gone up and down this strip, Main Street, and I've seen 2 people pulled over already. So watch your speed when you're coming through here. Thankfully, I'm not one of the people that got pulled over, but you might be. that was pretty informative. They had a great little 15-minute video. If you're coming past, I suggest you stop and watch it. It tells a lot about the Parkway and its formation and its history. So the stuff I've told you has been right on. I was accurate on all of that. A couple of little additions. Those people that took their boats down the Mississippi and then hiked back on the Natchez Trace in the 1800s, they were called Kaintucks because people thought they were from Kentucky. A lot of them were from Kentucky, but they were also from Pennsylvania, Ohio, and other places in that area. Right at the height of the use of the Natchez Trace, it kind of died, and that was because steam power came in, and it's a lot easier to take a steamboat up the Mississippi against the current and get back home than to try and hike this whole 444 miles. So it kind of just disappeared right at its peak, which is kind of an interesting snap change to it. Last thing that really stuck out to me is the average width of the parkway, not the road, but the actual park, is only 800 feet. That's like a little over 1/10 of a mile wide. That's why, as I mentioned yesterday, there's so often you see agriculture or houses or things from the road. They're real close because it's so narrow. And I guess that's just what they had to do to get enough land to make the parkway and create the park. It's one of, I think, 4 parkways that are national parks in and of themselves, their own unit. That's Blue Ridge Parkway, Natchez Trace Parkway. Then there's 2 short ones in DC. They're like 30, 40 miles that I can't remember the name of. I'll put those below. All right, let's get on down the road. All right, that was kind of cool. So that was the Tennessee-Tombigbee Waterway, which I'd never heard of before. It's an artificial channel, 234 miles long, that connects the Tennessee River and the Tombigbee River, which I've never heard of. Created to help connect the Midwest to the Gulf of Mexico, basically. That's pretty cool. It just happened to cross it. Glad I stopped. How you doing?
All right.
I hear there's a cool swinging bridge.
3 miles to the back down this road.
Okay, how close to the road is it?
60, 80 feet off the road.
Okay, so it's not like a 2-hour hike to get to.
No.
Okay.
There's a dirt gravel parking lot right there. Don't know if you want to put a kickstand in the dirt.
Yeah, I'll be careful.
Just past that, there's paved parking. You can pull in one of those spots.
Okay.
And then it's about 70, 80 yards to it.
Perfect. How much is it to get in?
$2.14 per person per minute.
$2.14 per person per minute. I'm going to drive like a bat out of hell to get there.
Please don't. It's 15 miles per hour throughout the park.
I'm joking.
It's usually the kids that don't catch the per minute, and I just sit there and laugh at them.
That's awesome. Can I use a credit card?
Yeah.
Just because I don't have any change with me.
$2.14.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I just laugh at the kids. Hey, okay. Well, this will get you the first 30 seconds.
Right. Hurry back now. All right, you said just all the way to the parking lot?
Yep, I'm going to give you a map here.
Yep.
We are here.
Yep.
Follow the road, 15 miles per hour, all the way to the back.
Oh, it all crosses over the trace to the other side.
It goes under the trace.
Under.
Yep.
Okay.
And Swinging Bridge is right here in the back.
All right, cool.
All right.
That in my pocket. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. We do have campsites open if you need.
What's that?
I said we do have some campsites that are open too.
Yeah, I need to get... It looks like weather's going to get nasty tomorrow.
Possibly tomorrow, yeah.
So, I need to finish up the trace today, and I may actually go all the way back to Atlanta tonight just to get there.
A lot of time on two wheels.
Yeah, it's early, though. All right, have a good one. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
That's a cute little park. Ooh, with raised platforms for your tent. All right, Tishomingo State Park, Mississippi State Park. If you're looking for a place to camp on the trace, this is pretty darn good. And we're gonna go under the trace in a minute here. And then on the other side, there's this really cool old swinging bridge. At least it looked cool, what I could see of it online, so we'll see if it's really that neat. There's the trace. There's the swinging bridge. Let's go under it. Oh, it's a pathway. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, I can park on this side. Let's see. I drove off without my earplugs and I left them sitting on my bag. Look at that. How lucky am I? It's gonna be a good day. Actually, already is a good day. Gonna be an even better day. I'm living right. All right, Alabama state line. Here's something I haven't mentioned yet. I guess I've forgotten to. That the trace crosses 3 states. Vast majority of it's in Mississippi. We're going to cross into Alabama just for a short period, and then the rest finishes up in Tennessee. So you get all 3 states. All right, let's ride across that long Tennessee River. Woohoo! We are gonna hop off the trace for just a minute here to see something that looked pretty cool online. That also has a pretty cool backstory. From what I understand, see this wall here? That's what we're gonna go look at. That's pretty cool. Let's go check this out. This is the Weechopee Commemorative Wall. This is a stone wall. It's about a mile long, stacked stones that was built over a 30-year period by a guy named Tom Hendricks. He built it to honor his great-great-grandmother, who was forced out of the area on the Trail of Tears, and then she left Oklahoma and walked 700 miles back to Alabama to her home. He says 1 stone for every step she had to take. It took him 30 years to build, and it winds around this property almost like a labyrinth, so you can come and walk it and almost have a meditative experience like you would in a labyrinth. Very, very cool, and just right off of the trace. Let's talk about the signage on the parkway. So there's a ton, like 100 sites. So you get a sign like this: nature area, half-mile. It's an upside-down arrowhead. It gives you a half-mile warning. This is pretty much all the sites except for the really huge ones are like this. But it gives you a very vague description of what it is. It could be natural area, it could be overlook, it could be something like that. So if you're not sure what it is, you got to slow way down to see, you know, if you want to pull over or not. So here we get to the actual thing. I'll slow down. It is Sweetwater Trail. Okay, Sweetwater Branch. Now, there's so many of these. If you slow down for every one, it would take you forever to get through the trace. So maybe that's fine. Maybe that's the kind of ride you're doing. But the trick is, go ahead and find a map, do a little bit of research. This is where some planning helps, and pick out the sites that you really want to see. Because the other thing is, there is a milepost every mile along the trace. It's kind of like the Blue Ridge Parkway. Every single mile there's a post, and every one of these sites is labeled by what milepost it's at or closest to. So the most important sites you want to see, if you go ahead and jot down the milepost for it, you kind of have an idea. Like, I know 375.5 is the next site I want to see. And that's the old trace that you can actually ride on, I think. All right, here's one of the posts. We're at 364. Easy to figure out where you are. Okay, this is going to be cool. Old Trace Drive. I think this is the only section of the old trace that you can still ride. Although it's paved, I kind of expected this to be gravel. Maybe I misunderstood something here. Oh wait, let's see. Let's stop them. Yeah. How cool would it be if the whole thing was like this? I mean, obviously I would have preferred gravel would be even better, but still, this is pretty sweet. It'd take a lot longer, that's for sure. Well, we got some washout gravel. Oh, we're still going on underneath the trace. Oh, and it just pulls up to it. Well, that was fun. Very cool. So that's a little bit of the older section. I think that's one of the few parts that actually follows exactly the path. It would have been a lot more windy like that along the ridge. The paved current parkway kind of follows the general line. I'm sure well, obviously it's the sunken trace and the old trace sections, you can see them weaving back and forth, so it is the right direction, you know, kind of the same line, but not the exact most of the time. Very cool. Gonna pull over for one more site here, and that is the death and burial site of Merryweather Lewis, who of course is famous for the Lewis and Clark expedition. But then he also did other things, went into politics, became a governor. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. Whew. And, there we go. Reason I decided to go ahead and stop, this is one of the major sites along here. And I have a relative, at least family lore goes, that one of our relatives was actually on the Lewis and Clark expedition. Long time ago, obviously. And I don't have all the details on that. But they're always kind of fascinating to me, the amount of struggle they went through and how hard it would have been to actually explore the way they did back in the day. So I think they're pretty cool. Oh man, I hope the 360 caught that. The guy's second motorcycle warning me about the cop that was right on his ass. Oh, I hope he didn't get a ticket. Pretty much since Tupelo, the roads have been getting a little twistier and a little more elevation change. And now that we're getting near the end up in Tennessee, it's a pretty respectably fun road to ride. Nothing that's going to test your skills, you know, nothing that's going to push you to your limit, but a lot more fun, a lot more rider involvement. You know, yesterday I was saying I felt like I was just hanging onto the bike and letting it take me. Not so much now. Now I've actually got some input, and I'm having a little bit more fun on the actual ride portion of it, let alone all the stops and the fun stuff to see along the way. Yeah, I mean, this is not bad. Look at this. It's respectable. Huh. Well, I guess that's the end of it. Wow, that's an unceremonious end. There's no marker, no nothing. Yeah, that's it. You just no longer on the parkway. All right, folks, there you have it. That was the Natchez Trace Parkway. Very unceremonious end to it. You just kind of get dumped off and no sign, no nothing, you're done. After 442 miles, I guess it is. I thought it was 4. You know, I kind of want a little bit, maybe a kiss on the cheek at the end of that, but didn't get it. Final thoughts? It was a lot of fun. It was a great road for the experience. I think one and done for me. I don't feel any need to come back and do it again, but I'm really glad I did do it. It had kind of been rattling around on the bucket list. I didn't know a lot about it until I started prepping for this ride, and I really did learn a whole lot. So definitely glad I did it. Really enjoyed the history of it that I didn't know, and then there's tons of stuff to stop and see along the way, which was pretty darn cool. I think this would be an awesome ride on a cruiser, maybe in the spring. That might be the best way to do it, or if you just happen to be in the area, definitely pick it up. Good destination, but probably only once. All right, I got one more thing I need to do here. Hey.
How many?
One. Okay, I'm finishing it up at the Loveless Cafe, which is right at the end of the trace. It's been here forever, feeding people. Famous for their biscuits, pulled pork. They've also got fried okra, sweet tea. I skipped lunch, so I'm thinking the entire ride is worth it just for this. All right, get out there and ride.